Welcome back from that break. I promised you that after that break, we're going to start our conversations. And this conversation is something that every person in Nigeria would want to listen to, because everyone is either a parent or you have children in your home, And even if you don't, the actions of the people that we are grooming affects us all. The thief who comes to your house comes from a home, right? The doctor you meet when you go to the hospital comes from a home. So training up children should be something that everyone is involved, even if you're young and you do not yet have children. Now I have in the studio Sulehawa Laraba and Unongu Florence Edede, both proprietresses. And what we'll be discussing today, we'll be talking about parenting and discipline. Welcome to the program.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much.
All right, so in my introductions, I spoke about the actions of the children we bring up affecting all of us. And I know that in the good books, because Nigerians are very religious, in the good books, it talks about training up a child in the way it should go. When that child is old, that training you gave will not depart. Yeah. I'm sure in the Quran too, there's something they must have said about training up children so that we have a better society. So when it comes to parenting, I don't want to ask who is a parent, because we all know what or who a parent is. But is a parent only the person who gives birth to a child? Please, maybe you should start.
Thank you so much. I want to begin by saying that parents are not just the person who has given birth to children or a child. As long as the children are born into the world, everybody around them becomes their parent, whether they are their biological parents, their uncles, their aunties, their brothers, as much as even the teachers in the school, even their neighbors becomes their parents. Each time, whenever they go out, even in the absence of their parents, those people around them becomes their parents automatically.
Okay. All right. So it is in place if I see a child who isn't mine doing something wrong, and I caution
the child.
In place.
Yes, okay. Yes.
Okay. Okay, Mrs. Unongu Florence Ede, what is the overall philosophy on parenting and discipline? Because parenting is one thing, discipline is another, but yet we need the both.
Thank you very much. We need the both for the upbringing, good upbringing of a child. Parenting and discipline goes hand in hand. They cannot be separated. So the parenting, the parents are to take care of the children. The children are to be told what to do, what they have to do, and do it correctly. In discipline, the children are also told this, don't do this, don't do this. This is wrong, this is right. So both the parenting and the discipline, they go hand in hand. They cannot be separated.
In responding, I remember I even had to ask you, I said, so it's okay if I see a child who isn't mine and the child is doing something wrong, is it okay if I could, caution the child? But we have cases of, in your definition of parenting, you also said that even the caregivers at the point they become a parent. So even a teacher is a child's, you can take decisions for the child as at the time the child is with you.
Under your care.
Yes. So I hear of cases where a parent disciplines a child or, scolds a child. A teacher disciplines a child or cautions a child, and the parents call or, come to the school to make threats.
Yes.
What's your take on this?
Yes. Those of us in schools, we are not different from what you are saying. And if you go around to take maybe samples of parents, even the teachers, the workers, people who have taken care of children outside their parents, their custody, they will tell you exact thing that you have just said. Parents have taken laws into their hands to the extent of going up to schools to beat up teachers, rendering threats. With the advent of technology now, you see parents making calls even at odd times. You flogged my child, you inflicted injury on the child, why should it be so? I think what they should first ask them, what did you do before you were disciplined? Not going against the laws of discipline. Just like you rightly said, when you train up a child in the way that child should go, when the child is old, that child will not depart from it. And there is another portion in the Bible that says, when you spoil the rod, you spare the rod, you spoil the child. And a child that is well disciplined, it will become a plus to the parents and to the society at large.
You know, she mentioned spoiling the child, spoiling the rod, and
sparing the
rod. You know, sparing the rod
and spoiling the child,
and then spoiling the child and
sparing the
rod. So it talks about discipline. Does it have to be? You know, there's a huge debate out there about methods of discipline. Does it have to be, you know, that you beat the child? Are there other methods? Must it be that? Because I remember growing up, I received a lot of beating myself.
Beating or corporal punishment. Beating is not the only way of method of punishment. You can give other punishment to the child in the school. Nowadays, parents don't want teachers to cane their children. They frown at it very well. They don't want any teacher to touch their children, even if that child is at fault. So school owners are aware of these challenges. So there are other methods. You can just mild punishment you give them in the school. You can tell the child to kneel down, to hands up, stand up while other children are sitting. You can tell a child to maybe pick pin or something, or maybe there are pieces of paper around the compound, go and pick it and come back to the class like that. Not flogging the child. But some of us, we cannot drop that cane, because that cane is the only thing that scares the children, that stops them from misbehaving in the school. So we use that cane. Cane is always on the table. You raise it up, hit it on the table. Stop noise, or do this. If you don't do this, look at my cane. I'm going to spank you. I'll spank you if you don't do this. Sometimes use it to touch them. At least let them know that you can spank them. It doesn't mean that you are you want to get the child injured, or you are correcting the child with hate. It is because you love that child. So, and again, flogging children when they cannot read, or when they cannot do some things in the class is not proper. You don't flog a child because he cannot read, or he cannot say something that you have asked the child to say in the class. What you do is you correct that child. You allow the child to know what you want the child to do correctly, not with cane. If you correct a child with cane, the child will be scared of learning that particular thing you want that child to do.
You know, even as adults, sometimes we want to throw tantrums, talk more of children. They love to get attention. So when they want to get your attention and they do not have it, they throw tantrums. How do you handle tantrums in children and other behaviors that shouldn't be there?
You see, when behaviors, unruly behaviors, are becoming too frequent, you as a mother, as a father, as a caregiver, you must develop a means. For example, my colleague talked about not all the time you use cane. Even the punishment, the so-called punishment that we give to these children, some parents even call. Yesterday, I could remember vividly, something happened in the school. A child was punished because she's always misbehaving in the class. And the following day, a parent called that, why was my child given a squat down punishment? And the teacher came and said, that punishment was not up to 5 minutes. By the time I called the parent at home again, it was a different story. She cooked a story because she doesn't want to come to school the following day. So when children are becoming too frequent in misbehavior, there are certain things we do. For example, you can send them out of the class. Stay away. And another disadvantage of sending a child out of the class, do you know that the child will go out there, is not even paying attention. Some of them, even after punishing them, they say, is it not just 2 stroke? Is it not just, I'm going to wash toilet and so? That is it. So some children have gotten used to even the punishment. So at times, we teachers, we develop a method.
I would like to ask, at what point do these children know what is right and wrong? Because I know they say the mind of a child is like a blank slate. So it is what you write on it that imprints on it and stays there. At what point do they begin to know, oh, okay, on my mind, let me write, this is wrong. Okay, this is right. At what point do we start that training?
Yeah. The parenting of a child begins from the home. The home. It is from the home that the child learns how to greet, how to say welcome, how to do other things. It is from the home that the child learns what is good and what is bad. The mother, the father, the siblings, everybody around the child will teach the child. This is fire, don't touch.
Foolishness is bound in the heart of a child. The root of corruption will drive them away. There are so many foolish things that children do. So many foolish things. For example, when you give them instruction, and that instruction is for the benefit of the children, they won't do it. They will be trying your patience. For example, you have left a message, you are going out, before you come, the house should be tidied, and maybe because there is electricity, by the time you are coming home, the children have not done anything. By the time you get home, if your time is not taken, if you are not conscious when you pick your cane, you end up injuring that child or injuring the children. So the only thing I would advise we parents is for us to control our temper. Like some of the parents will say, and some of the children as well, they will tell you, it's a gradual thing. Mommy, this thing will come to be. Mommy, you talk too much. Mommy, don't worry. Is it not the work? We are going to do it. So it takes understanding, both for the children and for the parents. That is it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Now, on the issue of parenting, you never exhaust it, especially parenting and discipline, because it's something that affects us all. And for a better society, we must get it right. Thank you so much for
Thank
coming.
you so much.
Thank you.
We're blessed to have 2 proprietresses in the studio.
Thank you so much.
It's our pleasure.
Thank you. It's our pleasure. Be here.
Thank you.
Now, we've heard it all. Do what you have to do. Be the best at what you have to do in bringing up these children so we can have a sane society. Now, Good Morning Abuja continues shortly after this time out. Please stay with us.